Pierre Poilievre went from being the projected next Prime Minister of Canada to watching his party hemorrhage members in real time, all because his Trump-style combative politics are tearing the Conservatives apart. A lifelong politician who lost his own seat in April and only returned to Parliament after a by-election in Conservative Alberta is now facing a leadership review in January whilst dealing with defections, resignations, and a caucus that increasingly looks like it cannot stand him. It is a spectacular political collapse, and it is happening fast. Welcome to Canada Newsletter, where we break down how adopting Donald Trump's playbook has turned Poilievre from frontrunner to liability. Before we dive into why Poilievre's Trump imitation is backfiring spectacularly and what this means for the future of Canadian conservatism, hit that subscribe button and click the notifications bell. You will not want to miss how this political crisis continues to unfold. Right, let us get into this properly dramatic situation. A lifelong politician who just last year was projected to become Prime Minister of Canada, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is now struggling to define his party's future and offer Canadians a viable alternative to Prime Minister Mark Carney. In recent weeks, Poilievre, a populist conservative who has doubled down on adopting U.S. President Donald Trump's combative style on some issues, has triggered discontent within his own party. Last week, one legislator defected to Carney's Liberal Party and signaled other party members may yet join him. 2 days later, another conservative politician quit the party, saying he wanted to spend more time with his family. The troubles facing Poilievre, who lost an election in April to Carney, highlight the challenges the American president is creating for many traditional conservative parties abroad. Whilst adopting Trump's hostile rhetoric on issues like immigration has played well with some Canadian conservatives, it has also prompted the departure of other conservatives who back progressive social policies and hardened the resolve of political opponents. All this is a sharp turnaround of fortunes for Poilievre, whose party in January held a more than 20-point lead over the Liberals before Trump's repeated threats to annex Canada united most of the country behind Carney, the new Liberal leader. Poilievre even lost his own seat in April, returning to Parliament only after a by-election in the Conservative bastion of Alberta. Carney, who leads a minority government, now stands closer to a majority that would hand him real power to remake Canada's economy after a trade rupture with the United States. Hours after Carney's first budget was released on November 4th, Chris d'Entremont, a Conservative member of Parliament from Nova Scotia, announced he was switching to the Liberals. "There is a better path forward for our country," d'Entremont said. "Prime Minister Mark Carney is offering that path with a new budget that hits the priorities I have heard most in my writing." Even before the defection, Poilievre was dealing with fallout from suggesting last month that former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau should have been jailed after an ethics commissioner found he broke conflict of interest rules. During a podcast interview, Poilievre called the leadership of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police despicable and said police were covering up for Trudeau, who should have been criminally charged, allegations dismissed by the RCMP. Poilievre's comments are straight out of the "lock up Hillary" rhetoric of Donald Trump, said Christopher Cochrane, an associate professor of political science at the University of Toronto. That kind of American conservatism and republicanism has not traditionally played well in Canada. d'Entremont said his move to the Liberals was motivated in part by his unease with Poilievre's leadership. "I did not find I was represented in Poilievre's party," he told reporters. He said there were others in the party with similar views. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Canada Newsletter.